Hello, welcome everyone. Hello, hello. I'm just going to wait a little bit until some more people come in. I know there's still few people logged in, but welcome. Welcome to our webinar. While we wait a little bit, please just pop on the live chat where you're coming from, which city or perhaps which country. We would love to know. And yeah, how's everyone's day going? Just let us know in the chat where you're coming from and how is your day. Lovely. Okay. Sydney. Oh, where is that, Amy? Wuthering Old. Oh, Sunshine Coast. Amazing. That's lovely. I'm in Melbourne, unfortunately. No, I'm joking. It's been pretty nice and sunny. Yes, very hot here in Melbourne. Very, very hot. Newcastle. Oh, wow. That's amazing. Geelong, pretty close. Lots of different places. Lovely. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. We love hearing where you're coming from. So it's pretty interesting to see so many different locations. So let's start. My name is Amanda. I am part of the ISCD team here in Melbourne, and I will introduce you to a few people that will be joining us tonight. First, I would like to introduce you to Gabrielle Rosenfeld, our head educator. Hi, Gabby.
Hi, Amanda.
Hello. And I would also like to introduce you to Lisa and Michelle, our superstar guests and former ICD students. Hi, Lisa and Michelle. Hello. Thanks for joining us. I also like to introduce you to Charlotte. Charlotte works at ISCD in Sydney, and she will help with any questions you might have on the live chat. She will also be doing a Q&A at the end. Hi, Charlotte.
Hi, everyone, and welcome. So as Amanda said, I'll be on the live chat today. So throughout the presentation, just pop in your questions in the live chat. There's a chat box there. Just click everyone as opposed to hosts and panelists so that some might have the same question as you. You might find the chat box under more on the side, so just or in the middle there. So as Amanda said, we'll collect all the questions and take them at the end for the Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte. Thanks, ladies, for joining us. So let's start. Welcome. In the spirit of reconciliation, ICD acknowledges the traditional custodians of country through Australia and their connections to land, sea, and community. We pay our respect to the elders past and present and extend our respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island people today. I am at our Melbourne office, where the Wurundjeri people of the Eastern Kulin are the traditional custodians. So tonight we will be showcasing the journey of our grads, Lisa Mathieson and Michelle Oliver. After that, we will have a short presentation of our courses and what we offer in terms of industry connections and opportunities. And after that, we will have a Q&A session. So don't forget to keep asking all your questions on the live chat. We will answer everything at the end. And now I would like to ask Gabby to come back on the screen, and she will be introducing Lisa and Michelle. Thanks, Gabby.
Thanks, Amanda. Hi, everybody. Welcome to tonight. We have two lovely special guests with us. So I'm going to introduce you to them both by reading out their bios. So first of all, we've got the lovely Lisa Mathieson. And Lisa, she spent over 15 years working in adolescent education and mental health. And over those years, she started a fashion label, created abstract art, studied event management, and worked as a freelance event planner and stylist, all on top of her full-time job. Busy lady. It became apparent that her true calling lay in a career that would nurture and amplify her creativity, enabling her to recharge during her own downtime instead of constantly pursuing more. She enrolled in ISCD in 2021 and completed her studies mid last year. She has been incredibly fortunate to have landed a buying and visual merchandising role with a high-end grocer and gifting institution in Melbourne's Outer East. She's currently working part-time and honing her skills while she continues to grow her own freelance design business. Hi, Lisa, how are you? Okay. How are you going?
No, I'm here. Hello, everybody. Nice to, well, I can't see you all, but it's nice to be here. I can remember the feeling of actually coming to my this meeting, I guess, when I was first considering enrolling. So I'm glad that you're all here, which is really good. So yeah, like Gabby said, I've decided to pursue a career that kind of gives me the opportunity to be a bit more creative, hence interior design. I completed the diploma course through ISCD and really enjoyed it. So I guess I'll take you through what a day in the life kind of looks like for a visual merchandising role. You do some modules on that within the course, and it was a small component, and it actually wasn't something that I had necessarily considered when enrolling in the course as a potential career path, but it certainly is one that I found really enjoyable, and I've learned a lot along the way. So yeah, you kind of never know where you're going to end up, and that's certainly how my journey went. So yeah, a day in the life of a visual merchandiser. We rely heavily on the calendar. We're constantly kind of looking ahead at what's coming up. I guess trends kind of come and go, but the calendar is quite circular. So you know, Christmas always falls and Easter, they always fall at the same times of the year. What people are maybe looking for in terms of like the products that they're going to buy changes, but yeah, the timing of it is always the same. So getting yourself really familiar with the calendar, what lies ahead. At the moment in store, we're focusing on back to school and Valentine's Day in terms of displays and things, but obviously our orders for those products went in a couple of months ago. So yeah, I guess reverting back to the calendar, what's coming up. Research and concept development is a huge sort of portion of the role. Looking at what's trending, what's in demand, what's popular, trying to manage budget as well, and margin predictions on those types of products is a big component. Obviously, we sort of have, you know, only a limited amount of funds that we can spend in a buying and visual merchandising sort of role within the store. But you do need to spend money to make money. So it's about kind of balancing that, avoiding having products left over that you haven't been able to sell. Within the store that I work for, I'm lucky enough to look after what they refer to as all general merchandise. So that's non-food, all kind of non-food related products. So there's a homewares and decor is a huge component of that. But we've also got a lot of things like candles, gift wrap, gift cards. What else is there? Perfume and sort of some I guess toiletry style products, cosmetics, that type of thing, games, kids things, kids and baby stuff as well. So yeah, there's a huge variety in my role, and it's really fun. It's given me a bit of a taste of a whole range of different things. So the next kind of thing that I'm sort of rotating through in my daily life is sourcing. So I'm reaching out to new brands, introducing myself and the company that I work for, which is Jeffrey's Providore. Yeah, introducing our store and kind of selling that to them, and why they should let us stock their products. So sometimes stores chase us, and sometimes with the bigger brands that can be a little bit heavier to land, you do have to really pitch and kind of sell yourself to them. Something that I do know has worked really well for me in this particular role is just subtly dropping that I'm an you know, a qualified interior designer, and so that their products are going to be in really good hands, that they're not just going to be, you know, shoved in a corner and left to collect dust, that they're going to be, you know, styled and looked after and displayed really nicely. So another component, I guess, within that is also just, you know, negotiating deals and pricing, that type of thing as well. So that kind of falls under that sourcing element too. Logistics and operations is part of the deal as well, and it's the same if you're working as an interior designer. Viable quantities of things, that assessing kind of what storage, whether you have access to warehouse style storage. We have very limited storage at our store, which does mean that I can't bring in much in the way of furniture products. So I have to keep the items quite small because we're quite limited on what we can store. But I have been able to negotiate deals, which means that, you know, that they'll restock us really quickly, so I don't need to hold stock in the store. They're all different types of things that I'm kind of navigating on the daily. Data entry, pricing, labeling, barcoding, all of the products that come in. A lot of that kind of administration style work falls into visual merchandising, or it certainly falls into my role. I guess if you were working with a David Jones or a Myer on a much bigger scale, that they might, you know, they probably have people allocated to do that, but that's certainly all things that I do within my role in a smaller store. And then the last bit, which is the best bit, and the bit that I'm constantly thinking about right through the process, is the visual merchandising. Where am I putting these products? What am I putting them next to really make them pop and jump? What colors am I going to use? You know, textures. How am I creating this really kind of eye-catching display that's going to want to make people walk over, pick up that product, and of course buy it. So that's the really fun part, and that's certainly from the moment I see it on screen, whether it's on Instagram in the sourcing phase, my mind's already ticking about where am I putting that and what am I putting it with, and to really make people want it. So that's kind of, that's a nutshell sort of version of, I guess, the visual merchandising role. Within that is the toolbox. What have I taken with me from this course and now applied into my visual merchandising and buying role? Adobe InDesign, you guys will learn that as you rotate through this course, and you'll use it constantly as well. Canva is a great one, which, probably didn't exist a few years ago, but there is a template for everything. Which is fantastic. It's a really quick, user-friendly tool to use. SketchUp, you'll learn that within the course. That's a 3D drawing kind of component. Your verbal and written communication skills are invaluable in a huge range of career paths. So, and something that I fall back on all the time, that I'm forever sending emails and, speaking to people face to face and over the phone. It's the same as if you're working with a client, or whether you're working in store and working with brands like I am. Planograms, which might not be something that you're super familiar with, but they're used by businesses. Essentially, it's a very quick kind of mock-up of how we're going to lay products on a shelf. So if I've got them all in boxes on the floor, I've already done a bit of a planogram and know where they're going to go to make sure that they're going to fit. Research skills, that sort of sounds like we're not talking, long bibliographies and that type of thing. I'm talking about, navigating through TikTok and Instagram. That is where I do the bulk of my research, reading articles about trend predictions, that sort of stuff. That's how I find out, or I decide where I'm taking the store to next. Confidence in what you're doing, it comes and goes, and that's totally normal. I think there's some days where I'm feeling really good about what I'm doing, and yes, I know people are going to love these products and they're going to want what I've selected in the store, and then there's other days where I'm not so sure and I'm not feeling so great about it. Just stick with it, I think is important. Some of the challenges within the role, which I've only been in the role for just under 12 months now, so I'm sure that there are more, but profits and margins and things like if the store is not performing to where it where it's expected to be, we have to look at where are we making money, where are we losing money, are we not selling certain products, have we got stock that's kind of stuck and sitting there, and what can we do with that? Ever-changing trends, we know that this kind of industry moves really quickly, and sorry, it's just got really dark in my house. That things are moving constantly. Lead times, which is a huge one if you work in the industry, or as soon as you guys get into your projects and things, you'll start to research furniture pieces and find out that you have to wait 6 months. Shipping and what's happened, strikes on the docks and things, has been hugely problematic. Imposter syndrome, feeling like you don't belong, again, totally normal, but it is a challenge, and we continue to navigate that, and I'd say I'll probably still continue to do that for years to come. Not losing sight of my personal goals too, that this role that I have in buying and visual merchandising is not the end game for me. I'd like to work as a freelance interior designer, and this part-time role is great, and I'm learning a lot, and I'm having some fun, and I'm bringing in some money, which pays the bills. But yeah, my goal remains to be a freelance interior designer. So yeah, defining boundaries and finding that balance between working part-time, especially when they would like me to be there more, and still trying to maintain that boundary, so I've still got that time myself to work on my own business. That's probably one of the biggest challenges. The good bits, which is kind of looking forward. We're opening a new store in February, so that's really exciting for the business owners and myself as well, that I get to buy every single little thing that's going to go in there within my department. And I've been able to have a behind the scenes peek and contribute to a large scale high-end commercial project. So that is a really cool opportunity that probably won't ever happen again for me necessarily in this type of role. So yeah, I was able to go behind the curtain there and have input, in the types of stone finishes, or, which tile do I think should go in there, and that sort of thing. They've asked for my opinion, which is really quite flattering, because they're recognizing, my qualifications and I guess my talent in a way. Another cool thing is I've been able to use this role to leverage and build my own brand and business. I've met some really cool people with some brands and companies and suppliers that I may not have come across if I wasn't working in this role, and sort of having that dual, I'm also a freelance interior designer, means that I've been able to network using that as well. I'm extending my own home this year, which is really cool, because all of the documentation and processes that I've developed through this course, I'll be able to apply to my own project and tweak them to make sure that they're really efficient and useful tools. Like I said before, people are starting to recognize skills and talent, and my confidence is growing. And I have some really solid leads on some freelance design opportunities for myself this year too, which is really cool, because I haven't actually done a full freelance project on my own as yet, but I've got some really good leads coming up. So I'm really excited about that. So thanks very much, guys, for your time. I hope you found that interesting or insightful. I'll pass you back to Gabby.
Thanks, Lisa. That was awesome. So interesting too. I will have a chat to you after Michelle's presentation. I've got some questions for you guys. So thanks, Lisa. Now I'm going to read you out Michelle's bio. And Michelle, she also has an interesting background. She's worked in fashion for over 20 years. Michelle has experience across all areas of the rag trade, including wholesaling, retailing, fabric and garment design. And in 2020, Michelle relocated to Brisbane and changed careers to design, construction and renovation with RSL Art Union, which, as you probably know, is the prize home charity, which is run by RSL Queensland. I'd really like to win one of those. We all Michelle works in the property development and acquisition team and is responsible for the design of multi-residential and high-end houses for construction, including working with architects, consultants and builders in deciding the final design of the building and interiors. Michelle is also responsible for renovating existing properties to bring to market. Michelle has a diploma of fashion business from the Melbourne Fashion Institute and completed a diploma of interior design with us here at ISCD in September last year. Following her studies, Michelle started her own interior design business called MEO Design Studio and has completed her first project under that brand at the end of last year. Well done.
Thanks.
Lovely. All right, I'm going to let you do your presentation. Thanks, Michelle.
Oh, thanks so much, Gabby. Hi, everybody. And I'm so grateful to have been asked to be a part of this webinar. I think it's super important for all of you out there who are thinking about studying interior design to jump onto something like this, just to see from people like Lisa and myself who have actually completed the diploma. I've found it really challenging, but also it pushed me outside of my comfort zone. As Gabby mentioned, my background is actually not in interior design. I worked in the fashion industry for about 20 years doing all sorts of different things. It wasn't anything that I had planned to do in my early 20s. I just literally fell into it. And it's one of those things where once you find something that you love, you just keep doing it. So I wanted to change a pace after a particular amount of time. And for me personally, I think coming out of the fashion industry was important because I worked for a lot of retailers and also suppliers who supplied retailers. So for me, it was important that I move into something else where I had a little bit more control over the product and could actually, start to use all of the skills and everything to do with, learning about ecological sides of things and making sure that the products and things that we were using actually help the environment rather than went against it, which is fast fashion, obviously, is a very bad thing. So coming into interior design for me was something that I'd already been passionate about in my personal life. And I just decided one day that I just wanted to learn more about it. And the way to do that is to actually go back and learn properly. So you can do interior design without having a qualification. But for me personally, and just looking at the industry and knowing what I know now from having completed the diploma, it really does help. You are able to understand when you're talking to trades, when you're talking to architects, when you're talking to anyone to do with the industry, just how beneficial it is to have those skills. And for me personally, my journey actually landed me here. I moved to Queensland. I actually was working as an executive assistant just to get out of the fashion industry altogether. And I actually had the opportunity to join the RSL Art Union. So I worked as an EA in the actual RSL Queensland. And RSL Art Union is, for those of you that don't know, we are a prize home charity. So we, RSL Queensland, actually help veterans and their families. 99% of the funds come from RSL Art Union for us to be able to do that. So what we actually do is we bring to market 10 properties a year. They're multi-million-dollar properties. I'm sure you all would have heard of Your Town, Endeavour, Marta, those sorts of prize home charities as well. We're very similar, actually. We're exactly the same. So the products or the properties that we bring to market have views. So we have the big bright and blue, we have the ocean views, which is something that's unique to us. Our other competitors don't have that. But the best thing is that the prize homes that we bring to market, you can actually win them. So $5 ticket, $10 ticket. I promise you I'm not trying to sell you tickets, but at the end of the day, these amazing properties, the funds go towards helping veterans and their families. So for me, it was a no-brainer. It was a connection to purpose. My husband's a veteran. I had the opportunity to join the team. I started out just being an admin coordinator and then actually had the opportunity to take the role which I'm currently in. But at the same time, I discovered ISCD and learning about the diploma. So it was a no-brainer for me to jump into it. So I've been doing that job now for nearly 3.5 years. I've been with RSL for 4 years. and I love it. Every day is different. It's challenging. You have to think outside the box, which is what design is all about. For me, you can see here the daily and weekly tasks. For me, mainly my responsibilities are to review the deliverables for the day. So I use Project Planner. I have a lot of projects on the go at any one time. I actually did the count just before I came on the webinar just to see how many projects I've actually been involved in since I started with the property development and acquisition team. And it's actually 25, which just blows my mind. So when I first started, I had absolutely no experience other than doing my own renovations at home. And along the journey, actually being a part of ICD and learning each module, actually, it's so funny that some of them actually coincided with things that I needed to do for work. So along the way, learning about how to read technical drawings and, even furniture design, things like that, working with stylists that we work with externally, really helped. So reviewing the deliverables for every day is super important. I'm sure that you all do that in your daily lives anyway. Site inspections with trades. So we have prize homes on the Gold Coast and also on the Sunshine Coast. I'm actually based up near Noosa, which is good for me because we have a couple of projects up here at the moment, mostly down on the Gold Coast though. So I do travel. It's pretty full on. I get up at 4 a.m. and jump in the car at 5 and drive down to the Gold Coast. So I think, it's only one day a week and I love what I do. So I don't really care. I get home at 6 o'clock at night, but I feel like I've accomplished something. So my day usually starts going to construction sites. We also do construction. A lot of people don't know that. We do multi-million-dollar beach houses as well as multi-residential properties, which you get the opportunity to win the whole building, which is so exciting. So, so I'm doing construction as well as renovation. So we have a few properties on the Gold Coast at the moment as well that I'm renovating. And we also have 2 up on the Sunshine Coast, like I mentioned. Researching for upcoming projects. So the most important thing is scope of work. So as soon as you walk into a property, and this will be the same if your dream is to one day have your own business. I've started mine, and it's not different from my day job to what my business is in terms of organizational things that you need to get done. So for me, researching upcoming projects for the scope of works. So when you walk into a property and you're talking to a client, or technically I'm actually the client when I walk into our properties for RSL Art Union, it's all about making sure that we're bringing these properties to life. So with your client, you'll talk them through what they want. With my day job with RSL, it's what do our customers want? So what's going to be aspirational? What do they want to see in our properties other than ocean views and, beautiful furnishings? What are the other things that we can do? It can be challenging with renovation because the market can be very volatile at times. We can't necessarily buy the properties that we want for the money that we want to pay because we are obviously set by budgets. So it's just one of those things. Every day you just do something different. You work out a way that you can actually grab people. We don't open our prize homes either, so you can't visit them, unfortunately. So marketing then come in and they have to photograph to make sure that they can capture the essence of the property. Meeting with external stylists and designers. I don't do that every day, but I do that more often than not. So I'm actually meeting somebody on the Gold Coast tomorrow. So we work with external stylists. I'm also styling properties now as well, which is super exciting because it's always great that you can walk into a property and know exactly what you would do with it. And now I actually get to do that, which is great. And having my diploma has actually helped my business understand that I am actually qualified and I can do this job. So, which is great. Internal team meetings. So we are corporate, we are an office. So we do have stakeholders within the business that we have to work with. So marketing and operations. So operations are the ones that look after the actual draws. Marketing are the ones that bring the amazing prize homes to market. So we are constantly in contact with them and keeping them up to date with the properties and when they're finishing, when we can hand them over, that sort of thing. And then it's just administration, which is a part of every day's daily life. So emails, contracts, budgets, which is really important. We are set by budgets. You will also be set by budgets when you have your own business. Particularly running costs for your own business, but also to running costs for your client, just to make sure that you're keeping on track and making sure that you're not spending too much money. Next slide, please. Thank you. So collaboration, I called this out because this is super important it's important for any job really, but collaboration when you're working in interior design is really important because it really does come down to communication and making sure that you're communicating, making sure that everyone's on the same page. So for me, with my job with RSL, I'm working daily with builders, architects, consultants. So that's people like engineers, interior designers, and trades such as electricians, plumbers, and landscapers. So for me, with the trades, I'm working with them not only on construction, but also on renovation, mainly renovation. Communication is exceptionally important. Scope of works I come back to is really important, just to make sure, again, that everyone's on the same page and knows what needs doing. Doesn't mean that you don't find things along the way as well that you missed the first time, but it's no biggie. You can always just go back and fix it. So within the RSL team, I work closely with marketing, as I mentioned, who are responsible for bringing each game to the masses. We bring marketing in once we've confirmed the completed design for construction and renovations, and then walk them through the final project. So they do a recce before they come and photograph. So they'll come through, walk them through. We'll give them the ideas of shots that they can take. We always keep that in mind as well with the properties. So right from the get-go, from acquisition, we're always looking at what the view shots are going to be, what our clients, or not clients, sorry, what our customers want to see, and then we renovate according to that. So, you know, budget constraints, again, I come back to, but you try and get as much bang for your buck as you possibly can. So these are multi-million-dollar properties. So when people walk into them, they want to feel like it is a multi-million-dollar property. You can't skimp. So not that you would, but it's just one of those things you have to be really mindful of. So for me working with marketing, it's a really close relationship. Profile is everything in this game, making sure that you're always approachable, making sure that you are in the know. And if you don't know, then you say you don't know, but you find out later. So you can always come to the table with a solution. Work with suppliers to gain first to market product discounts and supply. So that's, again, really important to build those relationships with your suppliers, because understanding first to market products. So I work quite closely with Globe West, and they're amazing to work with. So we do quite a lot of business with them. But there's also other smaller, more niche artisans that we also work with. We're looking more and more at bringing more artisans on board that we can actually single out in our promotions. And it also helps them as well. So it's kind of a reciprocal relationship. But yeah, collaboration, really important. Okay, so this is the fun part. These are the completed projects, that I've done today. So like I said earlier, I've done 25 in different stages. There's only been a handful of projects that I've actually managed from start to finish on my own. This is an apartment that's located in Tugun, down on the southern end of the Gold Coast. So this apartment, the image that you can see there, this is the first time we brought it to market. So we don't usually raffle properties, but with the property market the way it is at the moment, sometimes we have to, and we hold them until the following year, and then we renovate them to bring them back to market. So this was the original. So this was from mid last year, I think. No, actually the year before, so 2022. So when we brought it back to market, we did a complete overhaul on it. I did a minor renovation the first time, which was just making sure that all the taps were working, you know, the drains weren't blocked. We redid all of the carpet and redid all of the window furnishings. For the below, this is the same apartment, but we refaced all of the cabinetry. We did a lot of work with the cabinet maker, and we actually had a builder on board with us as well for this one because it was so big. But the idea is that when our customers log on to the website, they look at these photos and don't think it's the same apartment, because we have quite a committed crew in terms of our customers, and a lot of the time they'll pick up if it's the same property that's already been raffled. So we have to offer them something different. And so, yeah, the first time this came to market, it was an all gold game, which meant you could have the property or you could have the gold to the value of the property. And so, yeah, so we had to really, bring our A game with this one so that we could trick them into thinking it wasn't the same property. So I think we succeeded in that one. Next slide, please. So this is the same apartment, and this is just an indication for you guys. During my course with ISCD, there was a lot of thinking outside of the box in when you're walking into spaces. A lot of the projects that we had to do, you were given a space that you had to give a refresh to, or you had a client brief, and that really helped me with this particular project, but all the other projects as well that we've had along the way. So you can see here that bottom photo there, the before photo. So this is the same room. So that room was just this nothing little room in the hallway. It was a glass wall. You can see there's some built-in cabinetry there. There were cupboards all along the side. So they were so ugly and had locks and things on them for the owners. It used to actually be a holiday apartment that rented out. So the idea for us the second time around was, what can we do to make this room different? And the first time I didn't have the budget to do what I wanted to do, but the second time I did. So this time we actually did a full overhaul of that room. And as you can see now, you can see the view straight through that window and it goes straight out to the ocean. So keeping in mind with marketing, giving them different view shots, that actually added another view shot for them. So they could actually stand in that hallway and instead of it being dark and dingy, they could actually see straight through that room, straight through to the ocean. It actually made that hallway really light filled as well, which was brilliant. There were so many benefits to actually doing that space. And plus on the plus side, then the apartment also got a media room, so which you could close the door and watch movies and things. So that actually came off really well. The business was really happy with the renovation. So, and I was super excited too to show everybody what we'd done. So another completed project. So the first one that I just showed you was from RSL Art Union. This is the project that I finished, my first project after graduating from the diploma. So this is an apartment, a high-end apartment in Auchenflower in Brisbane. So it's right on the river. It has views across to the city. It is a multi-million-dollar area. It floods all the time, unfortunately, but being an apartment, it's really high up. So that was a consideration we didn't have to have, which was good. So, so this apartment, the client wanted a complete overhaul. So her idea is that this becomes towards the Olympics, a high-end apartment that can be rented out. And so we actually did a full gut of this apartment. Kylie, the client, actually engaged the builder. So I worked alongside the builder. So he project managed and I just worked alongside him in terms of the design and answering any questions. He engaged the trades. I didn't have to do that, which was really great. But as you can see, it went from being, and keep in mind that photo up the top was taken at night, but the apartment was very dated. It hadn't had a renovation. I couldn't tell you when. It was just really tired and needed an update. So again, coming back to the diploma, I was able to draw up that kitchen and pass that on to the cabinet maker. It was actually really great as well. So just going back to what Lisa was saying before about the programs that we use and we learn, AutoCAD, SketchUp was brilliant. SketchUp is actually what I drew the kitchen up in. And it was actually a really great way to show the client what the kitchen would look like when it was finished. So it's one of those things where when you're looking at a space, walking into it, and I'm sure you guys are the same, you walk into a space and straight away you know what you would do to improve it. So it was no different with this one, and thankfully the client was really on board. I did push her out of her comfort zone a little bit. I gave her lighter carpet. She didn't want lighter carpet. I gave her lighter floors, didn't want lighter floors. I really pushed the boundaries with her. But again, it comes back to communication and just making sure that I'm not pushing her too far out of her comfort zone. But I think overall, I think it came off really well. She's super happy. I don't recommend doing a renovation right before Christmas though, because trades tend to scatter. So that is something that I will say. But apart from that, I think it turned out really well and she's super happy. So as am I. Okay, so what have I learned? So since graduating and actually during my diploma as well, I think along the way, the team do teach you, I think there is a subject where it does teach you about actually working with clients, that sort of thing, understanding who your client is. And so what I learned was to be clear about what is and isn't included in your estimate, to make sure responsibilities are clear to the client. If the client is engaging the builder, which is what my client did, Kylie, engaged the builder. So I think in that regard, it's very important that you are clear from the outset what you're responsible for, so that you're not stepping on anyone's toes, but also you're not being asked to do anything that's outside of your scope. Everything in writing. Like I learnt this with my job as well. When you're working in interior design or any sort of communication with trades, etc., make sure that you put everything in writing. So any communications that you have with trades or the client, make sure it's in writing. If you have a phone call, confirm the discussion with an email straight afterwards. I did get caught out once. I had a very stressed out cabinet maker calling me in the car at 5:30 in the afternoon, and I forgot to follow it up with a phone call. And yeah, it was a very big learning experience for me. So thankfully it turned out okay. So make sure you quote your time accurately. So when you graduate and you start working in the industry, your time is precious, and ensuring your quote reflects the time needed to get the job done is really important. So sometimes you'll have a client who will call you at 6:30 at night. If that's not okay with you, if you have a young family or commitments, make sure that that's really clear about your time. And if they do take up some of your time, that you do have an extra hourly rate that you charge, because your time is important, and so is your time with your family. Use every opportunity to network with your peers, social media, industry events, developing relationships with your suppliers. And that's the one thing that I found is with suppliers, they know everybody else in the industry. So if there's nobody else or somebody else that you haven't met yet, they can introduce you. Everybody, it's a small industry. Everybody will talk about, what's upcoming, or if there's a project or something like that. So it's really a good way to keep informed. And also too, as I've put, creating a solid future in interior design. Studying is an essential part of developing your skills. So I'm really appreciative of everything that I learned at ISCD. I worked full-time whilst I was doing it. It was challenging at times. Time management is everything. And if you have other things that pop up along the way, the team are really good if you communicate with them. Gabby and I communicated quite a bit during the last year of my diploma. Also on-the-job training is also beneficial, and watching videos on YouTube, listening to podcasts, and LinkedIn Learning as well. So there's a lot of modules on LinkedIn Learning. And another one that I found is Masterclass. So even though they may not be to do with interior design, you may pick up some other things along the way. So I just want to say thank you so much for listening to me warble on about my job and everything. And I'm so grateful to have been asked. And I'll hand back over to you guys.
Thanks, Michelle. That was so insightful. It was amazing. I'm going to ask quickly 3 questions, because I can see in the chat panel there's a lot of questions, and we've got Amanda who wants to take you through the actual course as well. So if I can get Lisa to come back on as well. Hey, Lisa.
Hello.
All right, so let's go through these 3 questions. So the first one, any advice for aspiring entrepreneurs like you lovely ladies? Who would like to answer that one?
Oh, Lisa, I'll let you do that one. You've sort of started many businesses.
I think the biggest one is kind of back yourself, and you have to be prepared to put in the time, I think, to get it done. So I started a fashion label, but I was still working full time, and essentially it was a hobby. I was looking for a way to fulfill my creative bit, and had I have applied more time and really invested in it, I could have probably really taken it somewhere. It was kind of snuffed out by COVID anyway. My manufacturing team was in Indonesia, but putting in the time and the effort and really kind of believing in what you're doing is important if you're going to try and start anything up.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. And what was your job search strategies? So, when you graduated, I know you guys are quite different in your careers at the moment where you've headed. But yeah, what was the strategy post ISCD?
For me, even though I already work in the industry, I still keep my ear to the ground for opportunities. So doing, the obvious Seek and all of those, I think Indeed is another one that sort of you can hone in on your search. I think going back to what I said before about collaborating with people and also, talking to people in the industry as well. So if you attend events, that sort of thing, I think that's a really good way to meet people and get to understand what's out there, what if there's any opportunities available, and be ready to learn.
Yeah, that's really true. We've also got, just a side thing, a job board. I'm losing my voice, sorry. We've got a job board on our website. We've just posted 2 fresh jobs today. We've had so many graduates get positions just by applying through our job board. So that's something to be mindful of as you're working your way through the course, to look out for that as well. And the last question is, how has ISCD influenced your career?
I guess, I guess now the trainers or the teachers that I had through ISCD had an exceptional amount of knowledge in their varied subjects and fields. They were incredibly generous with their time and super supportive. So I feel like I've been able to even questions that I might have had that the course didn't cover, or the more of that kind of day-to-day life, I was able to access my educators and ask those questions. We met up, we went to trade shows. There was I know, Gabby, you organised a tour, a walking tour of some cool places in Richmond. I didn't actually get to go on that one, but there's lots of opportunities there. I know that through trade shows that I attended with you guys, I come across brands and suppliers, which I have now taken to the store that I work for. And these were brands, with products that my bosses had never heard of. So they think I'm an absolute rock star because I found these unique products. And I actually, met these people and, at trade shows and things through ISCD. So it's been, it all sort of meshes together. It might not necessarily all make sense at the time, but for me, everything's just kind of fell into place and lined up. And it makes sense now.
Amazing. All right. Well, we'll ask Amanda back, I guess, and we'll hop off so she can do her presentation.
Thank you, Gabby. Thanks you, ladies. That was so exciting. It was very impressive. So yes, we will just have a quick run through our courses, and then after that we'll have a Q&A. So all your questions will be answered very soon, I promise. So yes, since opening our doors in 1983, we have helped over 5,700 alumni to realize their creative potential and become part of this growing industry. We are dedicated to deliver a quality training and a unique experience online. So our curriculum, as you probably already know, includes the Diploma of Interior Design. We also have a certificate for interior decoration and our short courses and micro-credentials. They are all 100% online. And these courses have been designed and developed with our creative technology collaborators, the Academy of Interactive Technology. So you can be sure that completing the most up-to-date and tech-focused course right now in Australia. So with the Diploma of Interior Design, this is a quick rundown of the course we offer. You can start any day and time. Once you apply, you get access to our landing page, and this will get you ready and help build your confidence to start our course in the following Monday, when you will be gaining access to our Canva platform. This is the course structure. As you can see, you will have 8 subjects and 4 study blocks. You will have 3 assessments per subject, and all those assessments will lead towards the production of items that can be used in your portfolio So once you finish your course, you'll be able to use that to apply for jobs. You will also have a 2 weeks break between each subject, and we understand that you will need between 12 to 16 hours of work per week in this course. A few of our graduates have started their own business, like Lisa and Michelle. They're working for a business. We also have other graduates like Chantel Trafficking, who works for Benny Cash Designs, and Kara from the blog, who owns Kyle and Kara with her partner. But other working related fields that you can do is residential interior designer, residential interior decorator. You can work as a color consultant, soft furnishing consultant, and residential and real estate stylist. The Certificate 4 works in a very similar way. You can start anytime, and it goes up to 9 months. The minimum age requirement for this course is 16 years old instead. And here's the course structure for the Certificate 4. You will have 4 subjects, 2 study blocks, and you will have 3 assessments per subject as well. All assessments are leading towards the production of an item that can be used in your portfolio. A few job outcomes for the Certificate 4 are interior decorator, residential and real estate stylist, soft furnishing and color consultant, and design consultant as well. So we are very proud of the type of tech we offer in our course, and you will have access to amazing softwares that will become part of your work routine. In the Certificate 4, you will receive access to Photoshop and InDesign, SketchUp, and Programmer. This is worth $1,200 of softwares. The software that you get access in the diploma is the same, plus AutoCAD and SketchUp V-Ray, which is an add-on to SketchUp. This is worth $1,700, included in your face. Also, Programmer is a software designed specifically for interior designers. It will organize everything for you on a project, from schedule to quotes. We are very excited to be collaborating with Programmer, and we are the only school in Australia right now that is offering this program to our students. So very, very exciting. We also have our short courses and micro-credentials. Our short courses are 6 weeks long. They are available through Open Learning. You can enroll anytime. And once you complete your course, you will receive a digital certificate. These are not accredited, but they serve to dip your toes into interior design, to upskill, or just as a creative outlet. We also offer a discount into the Certificate 4 once you complete your short course. The micro-credentials are a great way to start your studies if you don't want to commit to a full Certificate 4 or diploma. You can choose to do this as a standalone subject. This is what we call micro-credential. This can be transferred as a credit into the Certificate 4 or diploma later on. These courses are very good for someone who is a practicing designer perhaps and wants to upskill. And it goes for 9 weeks. So 3 assessments as well. And just to know, the software is not included in the short courses and micro-credentials. Something else we are very proud of, just to finish off, is our partnerships. You will get access not just to our amazing educators that are all practicing designers, but you will also have access to our amazing partners. Here is some of our industry partners, and as you can see, we have a good amount of great names to showcase, and these partnerships allow our students to step into the design world. This might be through an online masterclass talk, a professional industry excursion, like Lisa mentioned before, sometimes in person, sometimes online, or a placement program. We have an internship program with Bowerbird Interiors for our diploma students. Once you reach the last block of your studies, or once you graduate, you will be able to apply for the internship. And I will ask Charlotte to kindly put that information in the live chat. We do have an info session that is only about Bowerbird. And to finish off, if you have any questions, would like to have a chat, please don't hesitate to reach out directly to me or Charlotte. Here's our contact information. email us, give us a call, whatever you prefer. We also hold information sessions regularly. We have different subjects, grades every time. So join us for the next one, 14th of March. You can register through our website or just scan this QR code in the screen. And if you're ready, you know you want to apply and start straight away, please do. As soon as we receive your application, you will get access to our landing page and you will be able to start straight away. You can apply through our website, iscd.edu.au. You can also apply through this QR code on the screen. If you have any questions, just ask Shalon and I. We can send you a direct link as well. And you can follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest. Join our mailing list. We are everywhere. And thanks so much for joining us. I will ask Charlotte to come back on the screen now so we can answer all your questions.
Hello, hello. Thanks very much, Amanda. And thank you also to Lisa and Michelle for those great presentations. I'll ask you ladies to also come on because we've got quite a few questions for you guys as well. So get both of you guys. Oh, great. We've got Lisa. Great. Excellent. And we've got Michelle as well. Awesome. So we'll kick off with we've got a lovely question from Melanie, first of all for Lisa. And she asks, was there a big difference in your earning capacity from your previous career to this one?
There has been a difference for me at the moment. I guess I'm working in a part-time capacity, whereas I was previously working full-time. I think if I hone down to my hourly rate, that it's not that different between the two career paths, but I am working sort of part-time in my buyer and visual merchandising role, which has given me a bit more free time to kind of put into establishing myself as a freelance interior designer. So I am bringing in less money at the moment, but if I was comparing hourly rate and I was working full time, then there wouldn't be a huge gap there.
So I guess potentially like you're going to have your own business, plus you're going to have this part-time job as a collaborative effort to like raise your earning capacity. So
yeah,
probably the same.
Yeah, and assuming that my, establishing my own business and that's going well, the earning potential is far more significant than my previous role. So at the moment, hourly rate would be quite comparable, but working as a freelance designer with my own business, it would be significantly more.
Yeah, great. Thanks for that. No, that's interesting. And to you, Michelle, I've got Melanie again who wanted to ask, was there a big difference? Oh, actually, I might as well ask you the same question. I think that was actually for you. So sorry, Michelle. I'm going to ask you both. So yeah, was there a big difference? Because I know you also switched from like EA, was it? And then you changed and you've got your own business. So how does that work out for you as well?
So not really that much of a difference in terms of what I was doing before to what I'm doing now, because like I said before, it is a bit more of a corporate world. For my own business, however, I'm the same as Lisa. So as soon as I started working on my own with my own business, the capacity to earn more money is immense. So you choose how many projects you take on. You choose, obviously, you've got your hourly rate already set to how much you think your time is worth. And how much you can bring to a project as well for a client. So I do believe that actually being qualified helps as well, saying that you are a qualified interior designer versus not being, I suppose. But yeah, so I think I'm the same. Like my earning capacity could certainly be the sky's the limit.
Fantastic, yeah. And Emma Lazarou had a question for Gabby, actually. So Gabby, do you mind if I ask you this question? Back on? Great. Thanks, Gabby. So Emma was saying that Michelle mentioned the course includes working on briefs to update areas, etc. So she asked, to that end, how much did you find the material covered in the course has related to your day-to-day work? So it's kind of, I guess, Gabby and Michelle you know, and if there's anything missing in the course. So I guess I'll sort of do both of you guys. So Michelle, can you maybe elaborate on that? Did the course cover what you do every day?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. In my job with RSL and in my business, being able to pull together a space and understand, because during the course, actually having to think about these things and think about how you address a room, because obviously you're not stepping into these places in person. They're actually just a course as a project. So actually being able to look at a space and say, what would I do? How would I do it? It's really helped me in day-to-day life now, step into a space and see what I can do and what I can achieve. Things like lighting is super important as well. All of that, I learned all of that through ISCD.
Yeah, fantastic. And with the course itself, Gabby, are these real briefs that are included in the course? So actual
Yeah,
briefs
look,
that
it
are
starts
working?
from the beginning, like in subject 1, colour and design, we're using an actual property. It's in a suburb. We have a, we have a persona, we have real clients that we use. They're fictitious clients, if you like, because, we can't just grab any old person, but the property's real. The parameters of the scope of works and the design brief is all based on a real life scenario, because we want you to start from the very get-go, asking client questionnaires, developing and designing things, and working on scenarios that with vocational education, it's about job readiness. So we want you to be job ready. That's our job, to get the students job ready. Yeah.
No,
I'll
thank
just
you for that.
tack
Yeah.
on to the end of that really quickly, that the
Sure.
documentation that you use or that we develop within the course is, the layout of your quote, the layout of your scope of works, all of those things, that you develop them within the modules of the course, and they become your working documents. They are the documents that I give to my clients now, which I developed within the course. So you do, by the time you're completed, you have this little toolkit of stuff ready to go.
That works towards your portfolio, all those works that you've created, right? Yeah, awesome. And thanks so much, Gabby and Michelle. And Michelle, back to you. What are the most challenging aspects of the course from Emma?
Oh, look, I had quite a few fights with AutoCAD. I'm not going to lie. It's not really.
I think a lot of people have.
It's not my happy place. But having said that, though, like the challenges of actually learning it along the way, the educators are really amazing at answering any questions that you have. It's really seamless in terms of during the course. There's videos that help you along. And of course, you can always Google. There's always that as well to do sort of some extra learning. I'm still not 100% with AutoCAD, but I'm getting there. Apart from that, the other thing I think is time. Just the challenge for me was time, working full time, but at the same time, being a lot more organised now and learning that way. I think, that was definitely one.
Fantastic. When you were talking about your what really helped you, apart from those industry events, you mentioned some podcasts that Tani EK would love to learn about. So if Tani is listening, just watch out now for what Michelle's going to say about podcasts.
So the podcasts that I've listened to, there's quite a few out there. Some of my favorites are, I'm not sure if anyone on the webinar has heard of Lucy Fagan, The Design Files. Lucy does a podcast, and I think it's called The Style Files. But yeah, there's quite a few episodes to that one. The other one is Kerry Ann Jones, who is a former student of ISCD. Kerry Ann did the Cert 4. And I know Kerry Ann, and she's actually styled one of our properties. And Kerry Ann does a podcast with a gentleman by the name of John O'Fleming. And that one is called House of Style. And I'm not sure if they've come back since Christmas, but there's quite a few from last year and the year before. And the other one is the Chase Lounge, or Chaise Lounge, or however you say it. That's the other one. So but if you Google podcasts for interior design, there's quite a few. I've noticed too, Netflix as well has quite a lot now, shows, but it's all learning, right? So yeah.
Mm. And that, I guess, how important is it to you ladies to be connected within your class as well, like students in your class? I mean, that just goes to show you that ISCD graduate has, like, you've connected with her. So do you guys do a bit of that in the course? Do you have a WhatsApp group or something? Or?
You can, yeah, for sure. I don't know if Lisa did, but for me personally, I'm working full time and everything. I just literally didn't have the time. But I know that there were a few people in my sort of group that did get together, and there's also every week the educators do a time for students to drop in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. Did you find that too, Lisa?
Yeah, I met or there's the same sort of faces, that were up to the same subjects as me, that we kind of, tracked our way through the course together. And so I met these people online in the drop-in sessions. There was a few that I communicated with via email a little bit as well. I actually took 6 months off before re-entering to finish my final block. So I lost those people that they graduated without me, but then I picked up a new crew. And yeah, like attending some of the excursions and things was really great to meet teachers face to face, as well as some of those people that you've seen in a tiny little block. But it is quite a supportive network. And I was a bit like Michelle, I was working full time as well. So I was a bit chaotic in my availability at times. So there is definitely opportunity for it. I probably didn't take up quite as much as I could have, because I was limited with my working hours. But there is definitely the space there to do that.
Yeah, awesome. Great, ladies. And I've got a question from Sky for both you, Michelle and Lisa. Were there any challenges you had during the journey of starting a business? Because Sky wants to start her own interior design business in the future. So I think you mentioned a little bit, but could you just both of you say a couple of things that were challenging or are challenging now, right?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I think, as Lisa mentioned before, actually with the course, having your documentation and everything ready to go has really helped. I think for the business side of things, I think it's just learning about actually owning your own business and what your responsibilities are in terms of tax and all of that sort of thing. So I think, if you have an accountant, that will help. Just sort of doing research into what your responsibilities are for the tax side of things. I'm doing all of that. My husband's actually helping me with that, and setting up your business, your ABN, which the course actually helps you do that as well, sort of in the background. They don't do everything obviously for you, but yeah, that really does help.
And for you, Lisa, were there any challenges?
For me, it was about kind of deciding where I was going to put my time and energy within starting the business. What services really lit me up that I wanted to offer, because it's a interior design is an umbrella term, and it's a big umbrella. So what is it that really lit me up that I want to then share with others or be doing? So you might pass that AutoCAD subject, but it might not be something that you loved, and that's okay. That you don't have to include that in your repertoire. That you're going to learn a lot of stuff, but you can always pay someone else to do that bit for you if you really needed to, that type of thing. So and I'm still kind of working out where I want to put my time and energy. Some of interior design businesses, they have these fantastic, they have podcasts and they have incredible content that they're putting onto social media, but they're probably not doing a huge amount of projects themselves anymore, that they might have channeled their energy into creating this online kind of platform. So working out kind of who you want to be in that space, because like I said, it's a really big umbrella, and if you try and do it all, good luck, but I don't know that there's longevity in trying to be everywhere and everything all at once. So yeah, just working out where you fit, I think, what really makes you feel good. go back to why am I doing this in the first place? What is it that I wanted to achieve or do? So if it's getting hands-on and decorating properties and stuff, then really channel your energy and time into that.
No, that's good advice. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
And for both of you, oh yes,
sorry,
sorry,
I was
Gabby.
just going to
Yeah,
say, if
yeah.
you had a look out there in the world of design, you would see that the top designers niche. And like Simone Hug, she is a procurement and stylist and specialises in objects and furniture. And she might not necessarily so much do, renovation work, whatever. So these people like Mim Design, they do a lot of restaurants, retail. Her background's retail. So yeah, it is about finding that specialty, but that takes time and a lot of trial and error.
Thanks, Gabby. Gabby also has her own business, so she's got a lot of knowledge to share. So for Michelle and Lisa, Tia had a question for what professionals or businesses should you collaborate with as a recent graduate rather. So what professionals or businesses should you collaborate with? We kind of sort of focus on that a little bit, but as the podcast and the ISCD graduates, is there anyone else that you recommend?
For me, it would be suppliers. So even just walking into furniture stores and, like in Melbourne, there's heaps. In Sydney, there's heaps. Just finding those little niche pockets of stores that offer something that the mainstream stores don't. So like Freedom and those sorts of places. Going and finding all those little niche spots, because fires the imagination. You get to talk to people because they're artisans, I guess you'd say, and they're really passionate about what they do as well, which is quite infectious. So I think for me, it's all about suppliers, and with trades and things as well. Be curious. Like I'm constantly, and this is a weird thing, I know, but I'm constantly taking photos of trades on the highway if it's someone it could help me. So because trades are there's so many trades out there, but finding good ones is really hard. And for me, I swear to God, I think somebody's actually going to get cranky at me one day because they'll see me taking a photo of their van or something. But
yeah.
but I do all of that. So it's just opportunities, just seeing them everywhere. So suppliers or furniture makers or trades or that sort of thing. So yeah, that's the opportunity.
Wonderful, yeah. And for you, Lisa, what has helped you?
Very similar, I guess. So suppliers and brands and things. Go and introduce yourself. Fake it till you make it, because you will feel like an imposter when you first walk into that fabric showroom and you think, I don't know anything about anything. What am I doing here? But the people that work there don't know any different. So you just smile and you introduce yourself and, tell them you're a student, tell them you've been in business for 15 years. Who cares? Like, just get a foot in the door and have some fun in some of those spaces. And so the next time, when you want to open the account, you remember speaking to Rebecca, in the showroom, and you can confidently email her and know that she's a friendly person and that type of thing. I remember doing that in one of the assessments. We had to go and get fabric samples, and I went to the Mokum showroom in Melbourne, and I did feel like walking in, I was almost nervous, but I had such a great time in there, and they were so lovely and they were so helpful that I thought, oh, what was I even worried about? And just getting around, get into showrooms, meet people. You never know who they can then introduce you to.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's about word of mouth. And did you have a business card? How does it work nowadays? Like, how do you sort of put your name out there?
I do now have a business card, but I didn't at the time, because I feel like that might have even been in the first year of the diploma course that we were out getting fabric. It was early days, and so I didn't have anything. And who am I? Who cares today? I'm here having a good time, and you'll know when you do that for the first time, you'll kind of know that feeling, and it does alleviate the anxiety around doing it next time, that you it is quite fun and it's quite warm, and everybody does kind of know each other, and you just smile. And if you don't know something, if they ask you a question, just say, oh, look, I'm really green, I'm just new to the industry, doesn't even matter.
Great, thanks for that, Lisa. Tia asked, this might be good, more of a sales question. So Amanda, if you wanted to answer this one, is the required equipment, including all the programs, included the course fees, or are students required to supply their own?
So all the softwares are included in your fees. You don't need to subscribe yourself. You will get access once you start your course. Regarding to computer requirements, we do have a spreadsheet with a bit of information. So if you like, we can send you that. So just have a look. We'll email you this information, and yeah.
Yep, beautiful. Yeah, I'll email that to you, Tia, okay, all the computer requirements. And Emma had a question again. If Amanda, she wanted to know the start dates a little bit more. So I think next Monday from August 7th, I think, sorry, that was from a slide before. So can you just
Yeah.
explain the intake dates a bit more?
Yeah, definitely. So that changed last year, actually. We changed on the August 7, 2023, and that needs to be updated for the next info session. We are taking regularly intakes. So once you apply, you get access to our landing page, which will kind of guide you through the course, what to expect, how things work, how to use Canva. And then you have access to the full course on the following Monday. So pretty much apply anytime and start straight away. So every Monday we are giving you that access. So that's a bit of how it works, if that makes sense.
Great. Yep. Thank you so much, Amanda. So I've just popped in the apply now application form there, so you can access that easily. So any other questions, guys? I'm wary of the time. We're just a little bit over time. People might be a bit hungry. So any other questions? I'm just going to pop my details in the live chat for you to contact either myself or Amanda for any last minute questions or information that you need. But I wanted to, say thank you so much for Lisa and Michelle for joining us today with your inspiring stories, also really great advice, and also Gabby too, and Amanda for your great sales presentation. And I'll pass it on to Amanda. Any last words, or ladies, if you wanted to say any last words, parting words?
Yes, thank you so much, Lisa and Michelle. Thank you so much for joining us. It was actually super interesting. I love hearing about your stories. And yeah, it was a great info session. Just reach out if you have any questions. Thanks, Charlotte, as well. And yeah, I hope everyone have a good night.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Great to see you kicking goals, girls.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.